No, look, I get it. Yes, I understand, but yeah, okay, I'll find something. Ah, cannot come up with a news story in one day. Like, I physically cannot do that. Who am I? Anderson Cooper? I don't have anyone to interview, nothing to talk about. Ah,
Elena, sweetie!
oh my god. Yes, Grandpa?
I found a box of old goodies. How about you take a look? I think we might have a hacky sack in there.
Fine, Grandpa. Fine, just leave it there and I'll come look at it. Grandpa, I'm here.
Perfect.
There's no hacky sack in here, Grandpa. I don't think this is worth my time.
You know, honey, my mother used to collect letters. It might be somewhere in those knickknacks.
These are all about the Spanish flu.
My, oh my, that was a doozy of a pandemic.
Grandpa, I know I'm an adult, but what the heck's a pandemic?
Well, why don't you read them and find out?
Okay. Dear Rebecca. Hey, Grandpa, I think I found a letter from a friend of yours.
Oh, probably my friend Belinda from Toronto. She was a reporter too, you know.
Dear Rebecca.
Dear Rebecca, yesterday I met the most bothersome little boy. Began when I was walking down Stone Street, and I was just so incredibly happy to be alive in New York City. What better place to create a story worthy of explaining this pandemic? Or so I thought. As I was walking along, I attempted to talk to people who obviously did not wish to talk with me. Understandably, I began to feel a little anger and may have ended up screaming down a sewer about how frustrated I was, which I admit may have been perceived as a little out of the ordinary by Americans. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I see a little boy in the most peculiar looking uniform running towards me. He asks me if I need help, and before I can say yes or no, he launches into a long speech about how I do not need to pay him for his help because of some old Boy Scout code. I told the boy that I actually was not offering him any money, nor did I need assistance. He said I was wrong and asked why I was upset. So I explained that I was a little perturbed because people on the streets of a city were so reluctant to talk to me. He asked why I thought they were hesitant, and I replied, well, I guess they fear hardworking reporters who seek to expose the truth, such as myself. The boy just shook his head at me and told me I had it all wrong. He explained that the United States government has been spreading false information to keep the public optimistic, and that the citizens most likely thought I was another reporter assigned to continue spreading lies, explaining why they wanted no part in it. I'm realizing that Americans trust their government an absurd amount. People in power are human like you and me, meaning they are just as capable of lying and manipulating. I plan on leaving this country as quickly as I can. Sincerely, Belinda.
Grandpa, I really had no idea our government lied about facts and figures back then. You know, America's come a long way. You can't blatantly lie in politics anymore. Guess it's just an example of progress at work. Grandpa, who's James?
Keep reading, sweetie. Georgie's brother.
Yep, no clue who that is either. All right. Dear James.
Dear James, something very peculiar happened the other day, and I wanted to tell my brother before anyone else. So I was walking down Stone Street, and I see this woman out of the corner of my eye screaming at the street. Well, I thought that wasn't very nice, and as a Boy Scout, I felt I should assist her. I approached her and said something along the lines of, "Excuse me, ma'am, are you feeling anger and agitation? Because as a Boy Scout, I can help you, free of charge." Our glorious founder here in America, William Boyce, was once lost and unable to see in a fog storm when, out of nowhere, a little English boy appeared and guided him to safety. When William tried to pay the boy for his service, he introduced himself as a Boy Scout. The boy said it would make a mockery of the organization if he were to accept Boyce's pennies for a simple good deed. You see, ma'am, that is why I cannot take your money for my good deed, because I have morals as a scout. Then this woman rudely tells me that I do not deserve a single cent. Her words, not mine. Well, she complained that people would not talk with her, so I had to help her understand. When I explained, I realized she had no idea that our government had been downplaying everything about the Spanish flu. You would think by now most people would figure out how bad it has gotten despite what politicians and the media say. Yet many people still wholeheartedly believe the government. They think the flu poses no threat and walk around spitting and coughing on people as if nothing will happen. James, it is plain denial, and our leaders are to blame. From Georgie.
Feel so bad for this poor kid. I mean, he has to grow up watching adults he's supposed to look up to acting so carelessly. That can't be easy. This looks like another letter for James. And another one attached to the back. Dear James.
Dear James, it feels like it's been decades since I've last seen you in your beloved country. Spain is a gloomy existence compared to the thrill of America. Medical centers are swarming with the ill, and the other workers and I are overwhelmed. Bodies seem to pile up in the daily, and I am not sure how much longer I can live amongst death. I do not mean to sound so sour, though. I am extremely grateful for my country's integrity. I feel as though Spain is the only country valuing truth over national pride. I mean, I find it a tad suspicious that the Central Powers and allies seem to be reporting little to no cases. You must find that strange as well, correct? With soldiers in such close quarters, the infection must be rampant. As a nurse, I can understand that it is imperative to keep soldiers' morale high on the front lines, yet at what cost? The whole world will be at risk during the war if countries do not agree to a ceasefire, or at least some means of stopping the spread. I apologize, but that is simply plain arrogance. By the way, darling, if you hear anyone refer to this illness as the Spanish flu, please inform them that the virus most likely appeared in their country long before it hit Spain's border. Tell them that it is not our fault that their country cannot hold honesty to a higher standard. Stay well. Of Mildred.
My dearest Mildred, I hope that I am still alive when this letter reaches you. I've been transferred from Camp Devens to Camp Upton in Long Island. The plan was for me to travel to France as a replacement troop, but the camp is now under quarantine. The commander claims that only people with urgent business will be allowed to enter or leave. It is horrifying here. Every day there are more and more soldiers admitted to the hospital. The medical officers have begun to spray our mouths with this liquid. I do not know what it is, but they say that it should prevent the spread. We have begun to wear masks as well. Something extremely odd is happening here, Mildred. I read your last letter and I am still attempting to piece the situation together. It is unthinkable that our officers are continuing to fight in this never-ending war if they know that we are all racing straight towards death. They are referring to this sickness as a particularly violent strain of the flu, yet people are dying at an astronomical rate, and no one is attempting to stop it. Positivity can only do so much good until it demands a price be paid. I'm beginning to agree with you about America. From the outside looking in, it seems so appealing, like a gift wrapped in that new substance, plastic, I believe it's called. Well, my argument is that the plastic creates allure. People want to live here and they scratch away at the shiny exterior of our country until it's fractured and they land on American soil. Then they realize it's a land built on promises that never came true and lies still snowballing to this very day. I can only hope that this war is over soon so I can come back home to you. I miss you, James.
Wow, these letters could make a great story, Grandpa. I mean, America has a well-known history of repeating the past, and these could possibly change the way people view our future. Hold on, I'm going to get on the phone with my boss right now. Oh, hi. Grandpa, do you remember the virus that was circulating around China?
I believe so.
Well, this Washington Post headline says first coronavirus death in the US and new cases being detected as testing expands. Gosh, that's scary. It's in Washington State. I really didn't think this could happen in America.
Honey, we know our leaders will handle this right.
Let's hope.